Hello, good afternoon or good evening, everybody. Good day. You're all welcome to this International Women's Day Summit themed the four-step transformational system to explode. It promises to be explosive as the name, as the theme implies, rather. You're welcome from wherever you're joining. I would love to know where everyone is joining from, what country you're joining from. Please do leave a comment in the comment section. And I would advise that you have your pen and notepad to take notes because this summit promises to be very insightful. And trust me, you do not want to miss the insights of this summit. So please, I implore you to have your notepads, your pens, and take, important details down that would be very, very, very vital and useful to you. I would love to wish all the women in the house, all the women, beautiful, amazing women in the house, happy International Women's Day. Cheers to breaking the bias, challenging the norm, taking the lead, breaking ground. Happy International Women's Day to all of us. So I would love to see where everyone is joining from. Let's see. I would love to know. I would love to know where everybody's joining from, what country you're joining from. Would be really, really amazing to know that. Okay. So I can't wait. I can't wait to, learn all the amazing stuff that's about that's about to go down. I can't wait to learn all the amazing stuff. We have amazing guests lined up for us today. We have Kristen Carlson, we have Simisola Agunbiade, we have Oluwe Aboyowa, and we have Fije Adum, all lined up to, take us through an interesting journey today. Don't worry, we'll get to know more about them as the program goes on. So, like I said, I would love to know where everyone is joining from. Please let me know so I can, give you a shout out, say hi. I would just really love to know where everyone is joining in from. And again, I'm going to reiterate that you need to have your writing materials, your pen, your notepads, so that you can, take down insightful and helpful um, comments or lessons that are very particular to you that you can learn from. So please do let me know where you are joining from, and please do have your notepads with you. So in a few minutes, I'm going to be bringing up our guests, our first guests, our first speaker rather, which is Christine Carlson. She has a very interesting, a very amazing profile. I can't wait for you all to meet her. I can't wait for you all to, learn from her story. She's going to be taking us on a very, very, very interesting topic, which is don't sweat the small stuff. I particularly love this topic because we really are sweating the small stuff if we are to be factual. It's natural for humans to worry about the small stuff, the big stuff. But yeah, so we're going to learn today how not to sweat the small stuff, how to, keep calm in the midst of all the storm. Because yes, sometimes life can be very stormy, in the different journeys, your career, your personal life, different aspects of life, life can be very stormy. So today we're going to learn how not to sweat the small stuff. In a few minutes, I'll be bringing up Christine Carlson, and if you're just joining us, please don't forget to have your writing materials. I'm begging you, have your writing materials, your pen, your notepad, because I cannot begin to explain the gravity of, the implication of you missing out vital information and not taking it down. So please do take them down. Please do take them down. Please do take them down. I implore you to do so. All right. So, like I said, drop in the comment section. I would like to know where everyone is, you know, joining in from, where everyone is joining in from. So right now, okay, okay, so we don't have Christine will be with us shortly, but before Christine comes up, I would love to bring up our host, Fije Adum. She is an entrepreneur, a writer, and a philanthropist. She's an obsessive learner who spends most of her time reading and providing education and writing as well that would help you experience the transformation that you crave. Fije is she runs businesses on three continents. As a business and mindset coach, she understands your fears, your struggles, and your challenges, and she's here to help you identify opportunities and implement proper systems that will deliver financial rewards for you. And she'll be speaking on the topic Inside Track to Building an International Coaching and Knowledge Business. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Fije Adum. Do enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Happy International Women's Day. Tell me, what have you done for fellow women in your life today? What have you done for your mom? What have you done for your friends, your sisters? If you have not, the day is still young. For some people, for me, the day is still young. For some people, it's not so young, but I want to challenge you. It's not every day women are celebrated, right? So when this opportunity comes, take advantage of it. I'm going to start by welcoming everybody. I see Emmy from Canada. Thank you for joining, Emmy. I see Victoria from Nigeria. I see Fiona from Chicago. I see Toju from Nigeria. Hey, TJ. I see there are some people who have not told us where they're reaching us from, but you're all welcome. And thank you for spending International Women's Day with us. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to share the vision with you. I see Juliet from Chicago. To tell you, of course, what this vision is about, why we are here, and the goal for this meeting. What do you expect to gain? I said, you're investing this 2 hours. I was saying to someone, she said, oh, is it a free event? I'm like, no, it's not free. You're going to pay with your time. You're going to pay with your attention, right? So it's going to be brain work. It's going to be, it's not free. That's a summary of it. Because, I mean, imagine what you'd have earned in these 2 hours if you were not here. So it's not a free event, but it's not a paid event. So thank you guys for joining us. I'm excited to have all of you here. Happy International Day to you too, Toju. So the reason why I did this, and because a couple of people have asked me, oh, so do you mean this is for only ladies? And I'm like, we're not sharing, it's not a cult. We're not sharing things that men cannot hear. But the thing is, for me, it's an opportunity to give back to women. Because as a woman, I understand the challenges we face, right? We are facing literally in the same world as the men folk, but the expectations for women, I think, is higher. The responsibilities, it's different, So it's an opportunity to celebrate the women folk and to challenge them. Because for some reason, our generation, our time, we've come to a point, for some reason, I don't even know where it started, where women are not, so much is not expected of women. It's like, well, you're fine. At least your husband is paying the bills, don't worry. Or, oh, you're just a woman, look, how much can you do? And so people are trying to be nice to us. I believe that they are reducing our value. They are being so nice. They're like, don't put yourself under pressure. Don't push it too much. I remember those days when we were young. There was this lady she used to work so hard. And her husband, well, he didn't like to work too much. And I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to call him lazy. And I remember my mom used to say, oh my God, she works like a man. How can a woman be this hardworking? She's out 7 days a week. And you can imagine what impact that has on us as we grow, right? As young girls, where they're thinking the lady's working too much. Why is she working like a man? Like women are supposed to work just a little bit, right? And not too much. So for me, this event is to break those biases. Coincidentally, that's the title of the International Women's Day this year. To push away those biases, remove them, those roadblocks that have stopped us. And it's a special ode to knowledge entrepreneurs and coaches, people who are looking to be authors, right? And they've not yet understood how to navigate it. Maybe they are coaching people. Hi, Martha, happy International Women's Day to you too. Maybe they are making a little impact, but they don't know how to structure the business behind the coaching or behind the knowledge business. So our goal today is to bring experts, people with experience, tangible experience. It's not to get you motivated, it's to show you the steps. That's why we say call it insider secrets, because not everybody can know this. If everybody knew this, everyone would be succeeding, right? So it should show you insider secrets, the path people have taken, those that have taken the path to not just become good at what they do, not just make money, but to be fulfilled, to be proud of what they do. And hopefully at the end of this meeting, you'd have taken, not just taken away those tangible advice, you're not taking those lessons, but you're going to be applying them in your business. You're going to be applying them in your life. You're going to be setting up systems that will ensure consistent growth. It's not a magic pill. It's not like you're taking it and then boom, you're going. No, it's not a hack. It is tangible steps that will take you from where you are to where it is that you desire to be. So yeah, set your desires very high. I'm telling you, the people we understudied to share with today, they are people who have hit all manner of goals in life, right? But the point is, what can we learn from them? What can we take away from them? So welcome today, guys, and I'll be coming back up very shortly. For the interim, like Becca has said, get something to write. Be prepared to learn. Don't let these 2 hours be wasted. It's an investment into your future, right? So whether you started a business, whether your business is going strong, whether your business is kind of wobbly, wherever it is at, forget that for now. Forget that there is war between Ukraine and Russia. Let's get fixated and focus on what we can change. You can't change the Russian war, but you can change the war in your business, right? So let's take those steps that we're going to learn today and let's see how far we go. And by next year's International Women's Day, I'm going to take a record of everyone here because I want to see what you've done. I want to see where you've been. I want to see what you've accomplished as a result of this ride we are taking today. Thank you, guys. And let's take it right back to Becca. Thank you, Becca. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, DJ, for that beautiful welcome speech. I see in the comments we have people from Chicago, from Canada, from Nigeria, and from Middle Illinois. I'm so super pumped to have everybody here. And like I earlier said, if you're just joining us, please make sure you have your pen and your notepad to take down very key insights that you may learn tonight, this evening. Okay, so without further ado, I would love to bring in our first speaker, Christine Carlson. Christine Carlson is a New York Times best-selling author, best known for her work with her late husband, Dr. Richard Carlson, in the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff series with over 25 million books sold worldwide. She's a renowned speaker, inspiring podcast host, retreat leader, and blogger. A Hollywood blockbuster telling Christine's emotional and inspiring true story was executively produced by Megan McCain recently. So, Christine will be talking to us on the topic Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Christine Carlson. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on. A special thanks to my dear friend VJ, who I met many years ago. So before we begin, I would love to lead you in what I call a golden pause. It's a very short guided imagery meditation to just ground us and get us centered and into a really great listening space. So this is something I teach. If you listen to my podcast, I always start every podcast with a golden pause. And I'll tell you why at the end. So go ahead and just uncross your legs and sit comfortably in your chair. And place your palms open on your lap and close your eyes. And just breathe with me. Breathing in through your nose, allowing your chest and your belly to fully expand, taking in the fullness of your breath. Exhale, release, and let go of any tension you feel, any fear. Breathing in pure golden sunlight to every cell of your being. On the exhale, let go of what doesn't serve you. And breathing in pure golden sunlight to the top of your head, to the tips of your fingers and your toes. Exhale, release, and relax. And breathing in pure golden sunlight through your core, through your mind, through your entire body. On the exhale, just release, relax, and let go. And as you breathe in this golden sunlight to every cell of your being, place your hand on your heart, activating your heart, opening your heart, and spend a moment thinking of one thing you feel grateful for. And as you breathe in that golden gratitude, filling your entire body, every cell of your being with pure golden gratitude, on the exhale, just release, relax, and let go a little bit more. And breathing in pure golden gratitude through your mind, through your entire being, every cell. On the exhale, just let go of any fear you feel. And breathing in pure golden gratitude to the top of your head, to the tips of your fingers and your toes. On the exhale, release, relax, and let go some more. And this time, as you fill your entire body with pure golden gratitude, on the exhale, allow that gratitude to wash over you like a cascading waterfall of pure joy. And breathing in pure golden gratitude again, filling your entire body with golden gratitude. On the exhale, allow it to wash over you again, like a cascading waterfall of pure joy. And filling your entire being with golden gratitude one last time with a deep inhale. As you exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. So the reason I start out with a golden pause is that as we pause in gratitude, we get a real amazing boost of joy. So this is so important to our mental health and well-being, to focus on what we're grateful for, because the Heart Math Institute, which does all the research of what the intelligence of the heart is, says that gratitude is joy in the heart. So as we pause in gratitude, we become joy boosted and joyful. And therefore, as we take these golden pauses, we can become more responsive to life and versus reactive to life. So that's why I do them. And I hope that you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed that, you can go to don'tsweat.com and download your golden pause for free from me and practice it regularly. I would like to begin by telling you just a little bit about my story, how I came into becoming an author and so forth. I married my late husband. We were college sweethearts. So we were married for 25 years. We had a really blessed marriage. We had done a lot of healing work together, very young. We were very blessed with parents that on Richard's side that supported that. I always used to say we were two of the most healed young people because we, for fun, just did all the different healing modalities that there were. And then Richard was a poli-sci business major in college and then switched to the healing arts, and he became a Rolfer. And then from there, he got his master's and PhD in psychology. And what I was doing was I had gotten my degree in business, and I was doing a graphic design marketing business. And so we had quite the journey. Don't Sweat the Small Stuff came along as his 10th book in a career of 10 years. So it was your typical overnight success story. It wasn't an overnight success story at all. He wore many hats in his entrepreneurial world until Don't Sweat the Small Stuff birthed from him. Now that book really hit at a right time. It had right timing. And it was a blockbuster bestseller all over the world, not just in the United States, but everywhere in 97 and 98. Then fast forward 10 years, upon the 10th anniversary of the book, Richard was on a plane. He was going to New York to promote his latest book. And it wasn't a Don't Sweat book. It was a different book that he had written. And he died from a pulmonary embolism on the descent of that flight. And we were 22 years into our marriage, 25 years together. We had 2 daughters in high school at the time. And I had written in the Don't Sweat series with him, I had written Don't Sweat the Small Stuff in Love and Don't Sweat the Small Stuff for Women. But that completely changed, as you can imagine, the trajectory of our lives. And that was almost 16 years ago today. So I can talk about it, and I'm healed, and I can even talk about it without getting completely choked up. It was what we call sudden loss. And it catapulted me and my daughters into grieving, of course. His family, our friends, everyone who knew us went into deep grief through that loss. And oftentimes it is out of our suffering that our greatest message and our mission is born. And certainly in my case, while I had written in the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff series, I had never really owned my career as an author or become a brand leader at that time in my life. And then as I healed, I began to witness myself in grief, and I started to see how I was healing. And I felt this deep calling to share my experience with others, because I also noticed that in my grief, I had this deep awakening happening. And awakening meaning my heart had completely opened in my loss and had been shattered. But in that shattering, there was this recognition of something being born within me. And maybe you've had that too, and that's called you to your business or to your coaching business or whatever it is that you do. You've gone through something and then you've heard the call from spirit, from the divine, from wherever that call comes from for you to do something, to share your message. At the heart of not sweating the small stuff is really to focus on what matters most to you. And in business, as a brand leader of your brand, it is something to really consider that the small stuff, the details are important to a business, but not the ones that take away or detract from your experience of life. The way I look at life is I say, does this add to my life or does this detract from my life? Does this add to my experience or does this detract from my experience? Does this add to my business or does it detract from my business? Certainly the small stuff that we sweat, meaning those things that become insignificant a year from now or even a week from now, which is a great question to ask yourself. Will this matter next week? Will this matter in a year? As you ask yourself that, it's a way to get clear perspective. Cornerstone of mindfulness and mindfulness practice means to see clearly. So by practicing life in a certain way and what we place our attention on grows, as we live intentionally with intention, we can really make choices along the path of life. And this is what I've learned so deeply. One of the things that I had talked about just a few minutes ago was that sometimes our greatest message comes out of our suffering, and there is a message in the mess. And I believe that every brand leader, every person who is behind their brand needs to be mission and message driven. This is really, really important for the sustainment and the growth of your business. To ask yourself the deepest question of all is not about how much money am I going to make, but how many people can I serve? How many people will my message touch? At the very heart of everything you do in your business, when you are focused on your deepest why of service, that's when you'll see your business soar. Really, when you can come at your business and be the message, be the messenger of the message, and be the steward of your brand, the steward of your business. That is at the highest level that you can serve. And then you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. Then you're really not going to sweat the small stuff because you're going to ask yourself, is this thing that's happening, is it serving me? Is it serving my message? Is it detracting from my experience or adding to my experience? Is it helping me or is it hurting me? When we can bring our focus down to those simplistic things, those simplistic ideas, when we can work on our own mental health and well-being, which is really important to having a successful business. Have you ever walked into a room and you just can feel somebody's mental health? I have. And you can also feel when somebody is scattered and frazzled and in fear. So these are the things when you do your personal development work on yourself, then you are able to serve at a greater capacity for others. When we become more responsive to life versus reactive, then we're not sweating the small stuff. So I've said a lot there. And just to recap for you, I'd like to just talk a little bit more about living intentionally and living in choice. These are two very empowered ideas, very powerful ideas to live intentionally and live in choice. When I went through my loss, I knew I had a choice in how I was going to heal. I could see myself going in two different directions. I could see myself pulling the covers up over my head and hiding every day. Or I could see myself stepping in and saying, wow, I've been given such an incredible life, and this has now happened to my life. I can't change this. But the one thing I made the choice to do was to stand as a victor, to not be a victim of my circumstances. I knew that all the blessings of my life had shown up to bless me. And I also knew that this loss that I was going through, me and my daughters, was also going to serve me well. And I think when we can start to realize that life is happening for us, not to us, that's a huge pivot turn. That's a huge pivot turn for anyone. The second thing that I want to say and just focus again on is that what we focus on grows in our world, in our lives. And where we place our attention is really, really important to our success on all levels, whether it be in our relationships or in our business. I want to share a couple of stories with you. I know our time is brief, so I have a few more minutes. So I want to say that our success wasn't easy. Nobody gets to a pinnacle point in their career where they would ever say that it was easy. But we'd implemented some things along the way, tenacity being one of them. There was a point at which my husband wanted to quit writing, and it was about his 7th book. He had written a book. It was called Shortcut Through Therapy. It's still available. And he did not receive a very large advance for that book. And we were struggling financially at the time. This was 7 years into his career as a writer. And he despondently said to me, Chris, I think I need to get a real job. I think I need to give up writing and get a job in human resources. And I was like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You love writing. It's your passion. You have to stick with it. And at the time I said I would get a job. I was home with the kids and I said, I'll get a job, and he said, that was it. Then we walked in the house that night and the phone rang and I picked up the phone, and on the other end of the phone, there was this woman and she said, hi, this is so-and-so. I'm a producer on the Oprah Winfrey Show. The strangest thing just happened to me. I was bent down in our library looking for a book on stress management, and your husband's book popped off the back shelf of the library and hit me in the back of the head. And it was called You Can Be Happy No Matter What. She said, it's the perfect book. He's the perfect person to join our panel. Do you think he could be on a plane to the Oprah Winfrey Show tomorrow? Well, now that happened probably about exactly the same time that he was saying he was going to quit writing. So, of course, Richard went to the Oprah Winfrey Show the next day. And it wasn't that moment that completely changed his career, but it definitely put him back in the seat of saying, I need to stick with this. And my point being for you that if you've been working at something a very long time and you don't feel like you're as successful as you'd like to be, keep with it, because most people give up just before they're going to have that breakthrough moment. Stay with it so that you don't miss your greatest success. The last story I want to share with you is something that can happen when you live incredibly presently in your life. You can experience many of the miracles that are awaiting you by your presence. You have to notice these miracles that happen every single day to most of us. This having a deep level engagement and presence in your life will attract all of the things that you need, both emotionally and physically. I was flying on a plane from Eugene, Oregon to San Francisco, a short flight with my daughters. And the attendant had rearranged our seats because he felt that we should be seated together. I didn't really care, but he said, I want you seated together for your flight. You're a family. I'm like, okay. Well, that was kind of important because we wouldn't have been seated in these seats. So we sat down and we were on a little commuter jet, and the seat next to me was open, and a man walked up to fill that seat. And when he stood in front of me, I felt this chill go up and down my spine. And I was like, wow, what is that? And my daughters let out a giggle. As he sat down next to me, I knew I needed to talk to this man. And this was just 2 years after my husband's death. I knew I needed to talk to this man. Well, he pulled his laptop out and he began working, so I didn't talk to him. But on the descent of the flight, about 40 minutes later, I knew I still had that strong feeling. So I asked him, is this a work day for you? And he said, oh, no. Well, he said, yes, I have a meeting, not really work day, but I have a meeting later I was preparing for. He said, what about you? And I said, well, technically I'm a writer. Always a work day for me. And he said, oh, would I know you? And I said, well, you might be familiar with my late husband's work. Richard Carlson, he wrote Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And the man got really he looked visibly upset. And I said, what? Did you know him? And said, no. And I said, well, what? And he said, well, did he die on a flight to JFK a little over 2 years ago? And I was like, yeah, how did you know that? And he said, because I was seated directly behind him on that flight. I was the first to assist. And as we landed, I helped to lift his body out of his seat. He said, I always wanted to tell you he died very peacefully. And I burst into tears. Because what that man didn't know was that I always wanted to know somebody who was on that flight with my husband when he died. And if I hadn't been so present and so deeply engaged in the present moment, I might have missed those feelings. If the man who rearranged our seats hadn't been so deeply engaged in the present moment, we wouldn't have been sitting there. So I just say that because there's so much that's divinely orchestrated in this world. We are so loved and we hold so much grace. I hope that you've enjoyed this talk today. I hope I haven't gone over my time, but I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak with you today. And thank you so much.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi, BJ. How are you, beautiful?
I'm very well. I wanted to say
Aww.
thank you before we enter to your other engagements. I just wanted to say that what had really struck me about you from day one, you're the first person that introduced me to yoga, by the way, was how peaceful and how calm you always are.
Aww.
I was saying to my friends, I said, every woman needs to listen to you at least once in a lifetime. We need to find out what that secret is. Is she not a gorgeous looking grandma?
Thank you.
What, Christine? That was so impactful. It seeps through. Like I feel it, I get it, and I'm sure people are super blessed. I just want you guys to see this before going. Everyone that stays to the end gets a copy of Christine's book. Don't Sweat Small Stuff. If you want a physical copy or an ebook, we can make it available. Just our people will get in touch with everyone who's registered, especially those who stay till the end. I will make sure you get a copy of this. And I was with it last night and I couldn't go to sleep. So thank you again, Christine. You're such a gift to the world.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to see you again, my dear.
Thank you. See more of you. I'll let you go now.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
All right, that was so insightful and that was amazing from Christine. Thank you so much, Christine, for such an insightful and inspiring session. And to the audience, I really hope you took things down because one of the takeouts for me was that we need to, learn to live intentionally, for the sake of our mental health and our well-being. And like VJ said, everybody who stays till the end of this summit would get a free copy of Kristen's book, How Not to Sweat the Small Stuff. So please do stay to the end so you could get your free goodie. So right about now, I'll be bringing on our next speaker, our main speaker, Simi Agumbi Ade. She is the operating officer of the Gemstone Group and chief of staff of its founder, Fela Durotoye, who is an executive coach, leadership expert, and global speaker. At the core of her heart, Simi describes herself as a midwife. She has displayed extraordinary prowess in birthing and executing the dreams and visions of her current principal through the Gemstone Group, as well as worked with numerous impact and business leaders to accomplish their desired goals. From the banking industry to the nonprofit, nation building, consulting, and leadership development industry, her core strength is execution and project management. And she'll be speaking to us on the topic midwifing your ideas, steps to translating knowledge to results. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Simi Agumbiade.
All right. Thank you so much, Becca, for that very incredible introduction. I was wondering what they're speaking about, they were speaking about. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Let me see. If you're around, just drop a comment in the comment section. Let me just see. I see a few people that have been in, but I would like to greet everyone first. I'd like to greet everyone first. I see Ivory that dropped a comment earlier. I see Gloria. And yes. Happy International Women's Day, everyone. Happy International Women's Day. I think that women should be celebrated every day, right? I think yeah, that's important, but we will take it that we're doing once a year. We will take it. But just to say, for me, today is such a special day on so many levels. On so many levels, the fact that we are celebrating Women's Day. Um, it is not easy to be a woman in this world, regardless of which part of the country that you are in. But being a woman, regardless of what it is you're doing, regardless of your race, really, I think that we truly deserve to be celebrated. And so to every woman in the house, this is me celebrating you to say, well done, well done. And if you can, just ensure that before the end of today, you take out time, you reach out to another woman that you know, a sister, a friend, a niece, your mom, your grandma, whoever it is, and just tell them Happy International Women's Day. So today, like I said, is special for a few reasons, right? One of them is the fact that it's International Women's Day, and that is absolutely exciting. Another reason that today is special, is the fact that today is also my birthday, which is such a big thing for me because I know that I've always desired the opportunity to be able to speak. Yes, I love the fact that I can celebrate on my birthday and have all of the fun, but I've always desired the opportunity to be able to share and impact people, especially on my birthday. So to be able to do this today, to spend time with every one of us in this place is such a big deal. So thank you so much, PJ, for making this happen. And really thank you to everyone for seeing that this dream of mine, I would say, is coming to reality. So yes, I'm excited to be here, and I hope I can do this as soon as possible. If there's still some time, possibly take a few questions, but I'll really just be sharing. So about 33 years ago, because I'm 33 today, right? I started my journey, and that journey, like Becca introduced earlier, has gone through many phases. Many phases. Working from the bank to working in an NGO to a consulting firm to where I am right now, which is really a leadership development institution. I've had the great privilege of working in these different places, and we all know that, like many of us, right? When we are born and we are living, there's some questions that we can't help but always ask ourselves. There's a few things that we already know. How old you are, who your parents are. There are a few questions that are kind of like you already know. But there are some questions that sometimes we almost, I don't know if the word is struggle, but sometimes we take a while to discover what it is, which is why we are here. The question on identity, why am I here? What is my essence? What am I here for? And I remember for me in particular, a few years down the line, I got to a point in my journey that I received literally the mandate of my assignment, which is to be a midwife. And I know that because this is women in this place, I presume you all know that a midwife is that one person that delivers things, right? And for me, I got that understanding of my essence as a person, knowing that my role in the lives of people is to help them deliver assignments, help them deliver visions, help them deliver ideas and intent and all of that. And I've come through that journey, and quite sometimes in the beginning quite reluctantly, But I have been able to embrace that calling of mine as a midwife. And gratefully for me, I would say I've had the privilege of working with a lot of people, especially my principal right now, Fela Durotoye. Many of us who know him, who is an executive coach, a leadership expert, a global speaker, a nation builder. I've had the privilege of working with him for close to 10 years now. A few days ago, March 1st, we celebrated our 10 years of knowing each other, or when I met him. And I've had the privilege of just working with him. And I have seen, for those that know who Fela Durotoye is, you would understand how much of a massive dreamer he is. And when I say massive dreamer, the ability to have incredible ideas of things to do. Whether it is a project, doing a massive project like a Moshi makeover, where you're bringing 2,000 people all across a city to paint 200 over 200 houses for people. That is one project. Or another project where you say, okay, I'm going to sign 10,000 books in 8 hours. Just almost things that you almost cannot fathom normally. That's what my boss is really a a star in doing. So he comes up with this incredible ideas, and and we have to run through. And I remember when I started working very closely with him, almost directly. The first 2 weeks after I resumed, the first 2 weeks I had the first mandate on my desk, which was to literally deliver the largest speakers conference that I'd held in Nigeria at that time, and we were supposed to host close to 900 speakers over that time. And it kind of like pushed me into it. But in doing that, I think that I literally found myself and I found my sweet spot, which is in that space of midwifing and executing things. I found a place where I could try, because the joy that I got every time I delivered on a project is literally priceless. I would say, guys, it is priceless. So because of that, I know that my experience over the years, I have learned a few things closely around the art and the science of execution, things that I have just learned by doing. Many of them not necessarily a theory textbook, but things I have just learned by doing. So for the next few minutes, I would really literally just be sharing stories, a few stories of activities I have done, of converting practical steps of converting ideas and knowledge into results. And hoping that from there, I will be able to draw some principles that we can adapt and we can use where we are. So that's what I will be doing. I wanted to give that quick background. So like I said, back to my boss. So we all know is a don with big dreams, right? And I remember sometime just very recently, last year, it was about to clock 50 years old, which of course we all know is a landmark here. And I'd asked, okay, were we going to do anything? Because I knew that the last time it was 40, they had like a 40 days of different projects on a daily basis. So I was literally almost mentally trying to prepare myself of what was to come. But I kept asking, sometime in December, because his birthday is in May, right? I started prepping. So, is anything happening? Should we be prepping? Should we be planning? We need some time. Because I know that whatever it comes up with is never small, it's always really massive. I didn't get any answer. So, we did December, we did January. And sometime in February, it comes up with an instruction that is received from God to say, okay, for my birthday, for my 50th birthday, I'm going to do a number of things. And then he just called out the different things. He says, oh, one, we're going to have 15 nights of worship. What that meant that for the next 15 nights, every night, there was going to be a worship session at his home for 15 nights towards his birthday. But that wasn't just it. If it was only that one, probably it would have been easy. But that wasn't just it. Also towards his birthday, we were going to have an 8-week program. So every week we're going to be having a program for different categories of people. So one week we would have program for students, another week we would have program for career people, another week we would have program for business leaders, another week we're having program for social impact leaders, and different categories of people at a stretch for almost 7 weeks. And that wasn't all, towards his 50th. The third one was to do a 50 orphanage outreach, which meant going into 50 orphanages to give them gifts, asking for what it is that they needed. And again, that entire process, for you to give an orphanage, you have to raise the funds, get donations, and just even get it to people. So three prong really was the project we had to deliver. And we almost had to deliver it in barely 2 months. The entire planning, I would say, was less than a month, right? And I remember when the conversation started, I'm like, okay, so this is what we're to do. But again, I'm talking through the entire process of really just midwifing projects and midwifing ideas. This came to him as an idea, right? An intent of something to do. And one of the things that we had to do was, okay, so now that I have an idea, we're doing 3 things per time. And because they were all supposed to happen simultaneously, it wasn't that we were starting one and then when we finish one, we will continue. We were doing the 50 days night of worship at the same time of when we're doing the program, at the same time of when we're doing the orphanages. So the first things that we had to do was even almost get a team of people, really, which was my first instinct. Let me get the group of people that we can share this vision with, that can take it with us, take it with them. And so, okay, let's have somebody who was going to look at this part of the assignment, and somebody who will look at this part of the assignment and look at that part of the assignment. And for each one, we had to now break it down. So for night of worship, if you were to do a night of worship, there are a few things that are required in there. So you want to know, where is the venue for my night of worship? You want to ask yourself things like, what instrumentalist are we using for the night of worship? You want to ask things like, who are the worship leaders you are bringing together? Questions like that are going to be, you'd almost have to ask yourself on that journey. But that's not all. But that's not all. You almost have to ask yourself, who are the worship leaders that we need to bring? And then you ask yourself things around, we need internet if we're streaming to the rest of the world. How do we get that? Those are all the to-dos in a way that would come from there. But that was just, again, remember guys, this is one prong. This is a multifaceted project we're talking about. So that was one aspect of it. But then we also had the programs that we were doing. So we're doing something for speakers, we're doing something for career people. And what this meant, if you have organized one program, guys, you will know all of the things that happen behind the scene. But this is us doing 8 programs back to back. So literally every weekend was a program that we're doing. So we have to think of, okay, who are the speakers? How do we get the people? How do we advertise? How do we get the theme? All of these were questions that we had to ask ourselves. But that was also one part. And then the third bit of it was the orphanage part, to say, in terms of orphanage, how are we going to how are we getting the 50 orphanages to connect with? Which orphanages? Where do we get people from across the world? We need an orphanage in Lagos and maybe in Ogun State and maybe in Kano State and in Imo State and all of those things. And gratefully, I would say at the end of the day, we did deliver. It did take the different activities, but at the end of the day, we did deliver. And one of the things that I learned, and I really have learned, that I've seen as a pattern for every of the projects that we have done, is there are a few things that are required in actualizing any intent, any desire, any dream that we have. And the first one really is your art, right? The art is where your intent is. The art is where your desire is. But not just your art. You also have your head. Your head is where you are thinking through the activities that needs to be done. And then you have your hands. Your hands are the ones that actually take action on the things that need to be done. So let me just circle back again. Many of us go to programs, or we read self-help books, or we have an inspiration, or we are motivated. We have a wonderful idea that comes, and we are convincing our hearts that, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Fantastic, absolutely amazing. All of that resides in your heart, right? You are inspired, you feel like you have the energy. But sometimes what the part that many of us don't get to clean out really is taking it to your head. And your head is when you are actually taking the intent from your heart and you're converting it, or in another way, I would say interpreting it into goals and actions. So in our instance, so he had an idea. I want to do orphanage. I want to do an orphanage outreach to 50 places. I want to do 50 nights of worship. I want to have programs for 8 weeks. That was intent of his heart. We had to go from there to now asking ourselves questions and pretty much breaking them down into goals and actions. So for each one of them, what do we need to do? Like I said earlier, so for the worship, what do I need to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Translating all of that intent in my heart into actions. For somebody else, your intent is to write a book. You've always desired to write a book. You feel like you have incredible knowledge in your heart. God has blessed you with so many things, and you're supposed to write a book. Fantastic, that is great. But then you have to go from that idea and that euphoria of wanting to write a book there and then to breaking it down. Okay, if I was going to write a book, what are all the things I need to do? Okay, so I need to research. Okay, that's one part of it. What do I want to write about? What would the big book be about? Okay, do I have an outline? If I don't, do I need to speak to somebody? Am I supposed to reach out to to outsource the writing of the book? Okay, how do I promote this book? There are many questions that we need to convert as action steps that we need to take. Sometimes what happens is that we feel those ideas, oh, I want to write a book, fantastic. And then we go ahead and we literally start announcing to people, my book is coming out, my book is coming out. When we have almost cut out one major part of it, which is translating the intent of your art into action steps. One of the models that we get to work with in my office at Gemstone is a model called Casper, which and I would share that and if it's useful for somebody. And that Casper model starts with one, clarifying what it is that you want to do. Yes, you have an intent. Yes, you have a desire. Yes, you have a dream. Yes, you have knowledge that you have. Fantastic. You have to be clear on what it is, clear on who it is you are speaking to. If it's a program, who is the program for? Can you talk about the demography? Do you know your avatar? Those are questions that you need to clarify. Oh, what are you going to be telling them about? What would they take out of it at the very end? Those are things that we need to clarify. So there's a process of clarity that we must get to. But aside clarity, we need to align. Okay, how does all of this align with where I am and with my vision and with my purpose? How does all of these things align together? But aside aligning, there's a bit of strategy. Okay, so now that I want to write a book and I'm clear on who the book is about and I'm clear on my audience for this book, fantastic. What is my strategy in bringing this out? How often are you going to write your book? When are you going to be penning down time to write your book? Is there a time on your calendar that is for your book writing? Is there a time on your calendar that is for researching? Is there a time on your calendar that is for editing? Is there a time on your calendar that you are speaking to publishers? Those are different strategies that we almost need to outline. And afterwards, now have a plan with it. So between this date and this date, we need to have done this. Almost like have a timeline for it. Or between this date and this, between the March 1st and March 15th, I should have done this activity. Or between March 15th and March 20th, I should have done this activity. Those are three different ways. So you are clear on what it is you want to do. You're able to get a bit of alignment around it, and then you have a strategy of how you are going to get it done. But then you're now able to plan it out, and then you execute. And executing is just doing. So again, just circling back from the model I talked about, the art, the end, and the ants. The art is where the intent stays. The art is where the desire stays. Is where we are thinking, oh, I desire, I want to. That's where it all stays, and that is great. But it is converting it to your head, and which is where you are taking it and you are breaking them down to actual activities, actual goals. Okay, this is what I need to do. This is when I need to get it done. This is who I need to get it done. Those goals and actions are important in executing any project that we want to do. But it's one thing to now have the list. And sometimes, yes, I can have a list to say, oh, this is my to-do list. It's one thing for me to have my to-do list. There's a last bit of it, which is actually taking action, which is where your ants come in. Because what needs to happen is that we're supposed to convert or instruct our ants literally to take the action steps. So I go back to the analogy of the program that we're planning to say, oh, so we wanted to do 50 nights of worship, right? And we had outlined all the things that we wanted to do. So we had outlined that we needed instrumentalists, we needed instruments, we needed the backdrop for the place, we needed worship leaders in there, we needed our internet in there. And those are goals and actions that we have outlined, and that is great. But we still would not have achieved anything if we didn't actually take a step in actualizing each of them. So, oh, I need the worship leaders. Okay, how do we get worship leaders? Oh, these are all the worship leaders we can reach out to. Then who do we need to call? So it's almost like giving instruction to those goals and actions. Also, we literally need to pick up the phone and call this person and send a mail to this person and talk to this person about this. Those are steps that we need to take. For the person that is thinking of writing a book, oh, that is great. After you have written your book, after you have done the outline, there are steps that needs to be taken to, calling your publisher. It's not enough that you outline it to say, oh, between March 1st and March 3rd, this is what I will do. Between March 14th and March 17th, it is great that we do that, and that is step 2. The step 3 is now where we go the next level to actually giving instructions to our aunt. Because one of the things I have realized really in many ways is that what our art does really, it is that it produces the energy that we need. It is where we are feeling, it is where we have this desire, we're trying to do it, and that is absolutely great. But our head is the one that thinks, that's the one that is analyzing. So there is a process in executing that you almost need to sit down in executing your ideas and delivering your ideas, that you almost need to sit down and analyze the action steps that need to be taken. You literally have to see what it looks like. Where am I right now? What do I want to do? How do I get there? That is where you analyze. That is where you are thinking through each step. And when you now do that, you now literally move the next step to your hands, translate the instructions with your hands, which is where you are now able to do. So one part of it, and I don't, and I'm repeating it again and again. I'm hoping it stays in our minds. The one part of it is the art, which is where the intent stays, which is where we are feeling, which is where we are feeling through things, and that is great, right? But then there is the head that is thinking, and we need to interpret that intent into into literally goals and action steps, and then translate them to instructions with our hands. So some of the questions that you ask yourself, your art will ask you questions like why. When you're in that space, things like, oh, why am I doing this? Why is this important? In the case of the project of FD at 15, it was the why was the fact that it was an instruction from God. And for somebody else, that's your why. For somebody else, your why is I want to make money, and it is okay. For somebody else, I'm doing it for posterity's sake, and it is okay. Whatever your why is, that why has to be big enough to keep you solid in the face of adversity, in the face of when things happen and they're not working your way. Your why literally needs to keep you steady, right? Your art is the one that produces the energy. So, okay, this is why I'm doing this. So sometimes you almost hear people talk about, oh, go back to your why, go back to your why. Because your why is what will give you the energy to keep running. It's your why that will give you the energy to keep moving. That's where your energy comes from. So your art, you almost have to have your why kept in there. But not just that. The next piece of it is your head. And your head is really where we go from the what. What do I need to do? Okay, so I want to write a book. Oh, I want to organize a program. Oh, I want to organize a workshop. What are the things I need to do? How do I want to do them? Which is where we're looking at the strategy involved. What format are you going? Who are the people that you need on your team? Those are questions that you almost have to ask yourself when you're in that space of your head, right? You're asking yourself things around, oh, and what are the steps I need to take? When do I think they can be done? Who do I need to get it done? What are the barriers that they might get in the way? What steps can I take right now? Those are the different things that we need to start thinking about when we are in the head. Oh, do you need to do your research? What research are you doing? Is there somebody else that you need to speak to about this? But if not, how are you planning your time? All those conversations are things that happen in the head. But then we go to the next bit of it, which of course is the and. So now that I know all the to-do list in a way, the next process there is actually doing something, picking up the phone to call, actually taking out the time to write, actually sending that email, actually talking to that person, actually texting that person. All of those things are the things our hands need to do to getting things done. So we have to take the ideas from our head and all that feel good, oh, this is how I feel, this is how I feel, or oh, my to-do list, I can see my to-do list, I've outlined the strategy. There's so many people that would stay in that analysis part and they're analyzing what to do and what to do and what to do and what to do. And that is great. But until you actually do something, you will get stuck. So it's taking it from your heart, again, I repeat that, to your head, which is breaking down the activities, to your hands, which is literally where you now do something. For a project, for a program, that's really the step that we take. But even if it wasn't a program that we were doing, one of the things that I would say is, so for example, for many of us, we have experiences, we've done something for so long, or we are gifted in a particular way. So in my own case, like I said, I'm a midwife, right? I'm gifted in execution and in getting things done for people. And that's where I believe is my strength is in. And I remember a few years ago, almost like a year, one of the things that had come to me was to say, how do I take all of this information that I have learned about midwifing and executing and helping? So yes, I have worked with a few people, but there's so many people that come and they reach out to me. Oh, see me, I need someone like you. Oh, see me, I need to get things done. And I can't be in many places, right? But I got to a point to say, okay, how do I literally, and these were the exact words I used, how do I multiply myself in the lives of people? How do I create mini semis that can enable those people, that can midwife their projects for them? And which was me having to take the knowledge that I have learned, which was me having to take the experiences that I have learned over the years in executing and project management and program organizing and all of those things, taking all of that information and taking all of that experience, all of that knowledge, and saying, how do I translate it to results? How do I translate it to actual action steps for people to take? And so there were a few things I did. Again, and it goes back to the same framework I'm using. But this is another thing, literally, that happened 1 year ago now, right? And I know that the first things that came was, yeah, it started from an intent in my heart. You know, people have been speaking to me over time. Oh, Simi, I want somebody like you. Oh, Simi, I need someone like you. Oh, can you help me get someone? And all of that information, I also got the understanding was, Simi, it's time for you to multiply yourself. It's time for you to train people. It's time for you to teach people all of these things that you know. And so there was an intent that was born in my heart, an intent of, okay, this is, I need to be able to multiply myself, which was really literally the words that I used. How do I multiply myself? And that was the intent that was my why. My why was, I need to multiply myself so that I can get many more people like my boss who is able to deliver things. There are many high executives, top executives that are literally focused on the small stuff, if I would use that word, and they're not getting things done because they are in so many places. If they had only had someone who was able to organize themselves for them, who was able to ensure that they were just focused on the most important things, they would be a lot more productive than they are right now. So that was literally my why. That was all of the things that gave me the energy in my heart. But that was step one. Step two was, okay, so how do I get this thing done, right? What are all the steps I need to take? So there are a few things that came out to me in terms of the strategy I needed to deploy. I was going to look at, was a two-pronged approach really for the work that I am doing. And one of it was recruiting, right? Okay, I needed to recruit people. And how do I get people like myself? Use all the social media platforms, use LinkedIn, use Instagram, really just whatever social media platform works for you. That was my own pathway of how to recruit people. But I didn't just want to recruit anyone. I wanted whoever I gave someone, I wanted the person to know that, okay, yes, you gave me a quality person. It wasn't just anybody I gave them. So I literally had to do like a full step, a full process flow to recruiting people. So that was one part of what I needed to do. But not just recruiting people, I needed to train them. So it's one thing for me to get someone that has prospects, that is smart, that has the right spirit, that has the right art, and that is great. That was a big part of it, was training them. Because remember, the intent in my heart was to multiply myself in a way. So it was telling them and teaching them everything that I had learned, teaching them the principles I had learned, the things I had learned, and condense those ones into a training program that everyone I am recruiting goes through that process. Again, I'm linking it. It started with an intent. It started with the intent of multiplying myself. That was my knowledge, all of the things I had learned. It started from there. And then taking it to the ed. So the ed went to, okay, what strategy am I deploying? I'm going to be recruiting people and I'm going to be training them. For recruiting, what do I need to do in recruiting? Also, I need to be able to put out advertisements out there. I need to be able to promote it, but not just promoting it. I need to have a really tight interview process that the people go through in a way that before they get to me, right, I would have whittled down the wheat from the shaft in a way, if I could say that. So whoever I am putting in front of a client, that person almost feels like, this is the best of the best. That was the idea. That was the strategy I wanted to play. So my interview process is a little strenuous, but it's really deliberate because for every one person, I almost need to have met, I don't know, close to 10 people to be able to come down to one person that I can almost recommend. So there was that process of getting the candidates and getting the applicants. There was now the other process of even just getting the people, right? Where do I get my clients? How do I advertise what it is that I do? How do people know that if they need executive assistants, they come to me, right? So there was that part of, I need to advertise. Again, this is my head thinking of all the different areas of things I need to do. But that was one part. The other part was the training. Okay, so if I was going to train, what do I need to do in training? Also, I need to, I have an outline. Okay, so these are all the things I want to let the people know. Oh, this is where it starts from. Oh, you start from the art of service. Or you start. So these are all the things I think is important for them. Oh, fantastic. But it's not enough for me to have a curriculum that I think is important for them. How do I get it in a way that they can? I can't go through a 3 hour teaching every time I recruit somebody. I have to make it in a way that regardless of where the person is in the world, because I still have my 9 to 5 guys, right? Regardless of whatever I'm doing, that process can still flow. So yes, I draw out my curriculum. I am able to offload the things I have learned. But then there was the big part of now having a training program. Okay, so I would record these things. Okay, so what do I need to record? Right, I need to record the entire program. Okay, fantastic. Aside recording, even if I record it and I have them the file on my laptop, that still doesn't do anything for me. Oh, now I need to have a website. Oh, okay, so I have a website. I need to speak to a website designer, right? They need to build a website for me. And on that website, I can put in the course so that for every one person that I recruit, I'm able to say, oh, go through this training program. And then when you go through this training program, you come into the community and then we deploy you to the client. That process. So it was a function of, again, the art, which was the intent, the idea of what we're trying to drive, but going also to the end, breaking down the different activities that needed to be done. What steps do I need to take? Right? Who do I need? Oh, so I can't record the video myself. So I needed to reach out to a video editor, right? I needed to reach out to someone to do a montage. Those are different things that we need to break down into getting the result. Oh, and even for my training program, oh, I needed to do my makeup, right? I needed to get makeup artist in the room, right? Things like that are things that are required. Also, website, I need to get a website, right? Who is going to build the website for me? What would the website look like? Oh, I need to get a logo. Those are different activities that I am thinking in my brain and having them outlined. And then the next step is now actually doing. And that doing comes with, okay, so I need to pick up the phone and actually call. The doing is actually sitting in front of is preparing my training program in a way that I can actually share it. The sitting is, okay, now I need to speak to the website designer, and I need to speak to the graphics person, and I need to speak to the video person, and I need to speak to my colleague that is working on the interview process. All of those were action steps that need to be taken by my hand. So again, circling it all back. For some of us, it's a program we're trying to do, and it's still the same process. We have to take that entire journey from our art, the intent in our art. We have to interpret it to actionable steps, goals and actionable steps that we need to take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then translate it with results in our hand. And I think that it's important that I share this, that I've never always been successful. Are there things that I've tried to do and I have fallen flat on my face on? Absolutely. And every time I look back at it, it is because I have not taken the steps or followed this process as I should. So this is me declaring now, because this is International Women's Day, right? And this is me having this conversation. So for a long time, I've tried to do a program, a course called Project Management, PMP, and I've tried to do that, but I've just desired it because I think that is nice to do. It'll be cool to have my PMP certification thereabout, and and that is my intent, right? Whether it is legit or not, but that is my intent. But what I have realized is that I have that intent. I write it down as my goal for the year. Oh, I want to write PMP this year, and then I go to the next step of sometimes even speaking to a coach that can say, okay, so how do I read for this program? And then I realized that after a month or so, I'm like, oh God, I can't do this thing. I'm even tired. Is it by force? This adult education is too hard. And this is second year running. I've still not done it. I'm hoping to start again. But when I look back really at my why haven't I done this? Because I've misstepped one of this process. Yes, I think it is a great decision. I think it's a great step for me to do. I think it is great that I do this program. I'm aware it's great, but it's not enough for it to be great. What I need to do, which I haven't done, and this is me confessing to the world, right? What is required is me literally breaking it down. So, okay, see me, you want to write this program. You are usually always very busy. There has to be a time that you are outlining to read, because you have to read. You can't just write an exam, because you don't just wake up and you have to read. There are frameworks and there are textbooks and things like that you need to read. Some of the things I haven't done is to now break down. Okay, I need to read 2 hours every day. this is the time to this time I want to read. I just assume to say, yeah, I will read. But it never happens because it is not a plan. Because I have not written down as action steps, right? I don't have a plan for that. And even when I had a coach, I was literally running away from my coach, right? But again, I'm looking back now and I understand why I haven't been able to translate that to result, because I haven't taken the process from my heart to my head and to my hands. So now that I want to do it, I think maybe another time when I'm coming to share with people, I'll let you guys know how successful I am. But really, it's taking that entire journey from desiring it, from wanting to do it, to actually having plans, practicable plans. Oh, this is the time I am going to be reading. This is how much chapters I will read in a month or in a day or in a week. This is how long I'm going to read it for. Oh, okay, this is where I would speak to. This is the person I need as an accountability partner that will hold me on the journey. This is what I need. I'm supposed to break all of that into actionable steps and then actually do it. Then, when I say I'm going to be reading from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., I actually read from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., right? So those are the three-pronged approaches I need to take in even just delivering that. So just to say that sometimes we misstep one of them, and maybe we are lucky sometimes to get it done, but we don't get it as done as we desire. But the process, and I would say in a way, I've kind of like learned the art and science to this executing and midwriting and get it done. The process really is taking it from your heart, to your head and to your hands, because your heart needs the intent. That's where your desire, that's where your dream is, that's where it comes from. But aside that, you take all of that intent. Your head needs information. Information is when you are writing out your steps. Information is when you're writing out your goals, the things you want to do. Oh, who do I need? When do I need it? How do I want to do it? What steps do I need to take? Brain dump as much as you can think. You literally have to think before taking out any step, right? And when you now do that, you go to the last step of actually doing. And as I round up now, because I have a few minutes to go, it's like for those that love to cook, right? And because that example just came to me. For those that love to cook, you say, oh, today I want to cook jollof rice, right? Jollof rice, because jollof rice is maybe because I'm in the birthday mood. So yes, let me use jollof rice as one. But I want to cook jollof rice, and that's what's in my heart, and that's great. That's my intent, right? I need to break that down into saying, okay, I want to cook jollof rice. What do I need for my jollof rice? Oh, so I need to have rice. I need to have pepper, and I need to have my spice. I need to have onions. I need to have, what else do we need for jollof rice, right? I need to have salt, right? I need to have water. I need to have tin tomato. You need all of these things for my jollof rice. And so this is me analyzing. And sometimes we almost do it if you really think about the things that you get, then you realize that you almost go through this process, sometimes almost really fast. Oh, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I have everything? And then sometimes you ask yourself, okay, I don't have salt. I need to go and buy salt. Those are action steps you need to take. You are doing something. Oh, I don't have pepper. I need to buy pepper. And when you have it, you now do. And the actual doing is when you are mixing everything together. When you mix it all together is now when you get your result of a very, very delicious steaming jollof rice. But you have to go through that process from your heart to your head and to your hands. And in rounding up, really, I would like to say that leadership, and this is how my boss teaches me, is to say leadership is really, ultimately, it is the ability to translate intent to result. It is going from I want to done. It is going for I wish I can to done. That really is what leadership is. And I believe that on this day, on this very special day, many women have many desires in our hearts. We have many dreams. We have many ideas that we want to do, things that has been born in our hearts for so long. And on my birthday, I would say, this is me sending a message to you to say, yes, it can be done. Yes, it is possible. Yes, it is possible for you to. Someone is asking themselves, oh, this thing I have desired in my heart for so long to do, this book that I want to write, this program that I want to do, this step I want to take. Yes, it can be done. We just need to learn to follow through that process. And that process is going from your heart, having that intent, clarifying what it is, to your head, interpreting it to action steps. Do the research if you need to do the research. Speak to people if you need to speak to them. But have all the information that you need. and then you go to the last one, which is actually doing something. And I believe that when we go through that entire process, many of us would be smiling our way as are able to achieve the results that we set our hearts to. So once again, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I'm hoping that to my last really 40 minutes has been useful to one person or to at least all of us, I would say. That ability of being able to translate knowledge into results. Because over the years, that's what I have learned. And I'm hoping that what I have learned can also help you in your journey. So once again, I say a happy, happy, happy International Women's Day to all the amazing women. And I look forward to hearing stories of us achieving great results and great fit. But from my end, I say thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So
See, what
much.
did I tell you guys? I said it was going to be practical. It's not going to be motivational. We believe for you to be here to take out your time, you're already motivated. But we need things we can do. Tell me what to do. Let me run, you know. And that was our goal today. And truly you have gone beyond, above and beyond. But I'm not surprised. I know what an excellent human being you are and what you've done. Like I can name 1, 2, 3, 10 things that I can say, okay, do this. But you know, I love the practicality of it. And I believe those are the things that change life. I'm going to give one person an opportunity to ask a question. You can type it in the comment before I let Simi go. Because we are doing our best to keep to the time, I'm going to give you a very short talk, and then, of course, we'll take it to the next level very soon. But if there's one question, if it doesn't come, then it's going to be going. Let me give you time because you're thinking. I just wanted to say, what would you say in terms of execution has been the greatest challenge you have faced personally? When it comes to you set goals, you've done your homework, this is what I want to do, but what is the greatest challenge for you in taking it from goal level to done level?
I would say the greatest challenge is when whoever I am working with is not clear. When you're not clear on what to do, or you don't have clarity of the goal you want to do, then you just have everything just mumbles up. Today, this is the direction we want to go. Tomorrow, this is the direction that we want to go. Remember, we're going from heart to head. And when it's not clear in your heart, the instruction that you're giving your head or you're translating to your head mumbles up. So this is me declaring, my boss is the one that sometimes has different ideas. So sometimes today, oh, this is what we need to do. Oh, this is what we're doing. Oh, fantastic. This is the step we're going. And tomorrow, like, I think that we should do, and you're like, oh God, time. You have gone through all that process of trying to figure it out, and you have to start again. So I think that for everyone, as much as possible, clarity is such a big thing, right? So for every goal that we want to achieve, it's just being clear as much as you can, because it's when you are clear, everything can ride properly on it. So for me, I would just I still face it till today, but yes, we are
so
working it
glad
through.
I
So
asked
clarity,
that
I would say, is
question.
one of the biggest challenge.
I'm so glad I asked that question because as a multi-passionate entrepreneur, that is a problem for me. And I'm glad my team members are listening to this. So I don't think this one is crazy. So they're like, okay, let's do it. And then let's do it. So I'm glad that he should have faced even the grades, you know? Yeah, but I understand
I
how
know, I know,
it's
I know.
crystal clear, but I'm glad I'm not alone on this journey. Thank
You're
you.
not alone.
I mean, I'm so glad I asked that question. I'm glad I didn't overlook it. Happy birthday again to me. We are so glad to have you. Thank you for your
Thank you.
time. And guys, of course, follow me on Instagram. And we'll have links to our website and everything else on the page available for you. So if you have questions, take it to Instagram, take it to social media, wherever you find her, and we'll drop those links for you. Thanks,
Yes.
man. Have a fantastic birthday.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, PJ, once again. This is dream come true, I would say, and thank you for making that dream come true. And to every one of the organizers behind the scene, thank you so much. And to everyone listening, watching, God bless you. Thank you all so much. I look forward for us really just seeing all of our amazing dreams coming to pass. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
All right, that was a very, very awesome time with Simi. Thank you so much, Simi. We're so glad to have you, and a very, very happy birthday to you. Okay, so thank you everyone for staying with us till now. It's been an amazing journey, and if you're just joining us or if you're just tuning into the Explode conference, we've had two amazing speakers so far. We've had Christine Carlson. And everyone who stays with us till the end of this program gets a free copy of her book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. You could get the e-copy or the hard copy, whichever one you prefer. And we just had Simi Agumbiade, and her section was amazing. I picked out some things that she said, especially when she said, your heart is important because that's where your intent comes from. But your head is also important because that's what helps you to translate your intent into goals and helps you translate your knowledge into results. That was very, very insightful. That was a very important learning for me. So, right about now, I'll be bringing up the visionaire of the Explode conference, Fije Adum. Fije is an entrepreneur, a writer, and a philanthropist. She's an obsessive learner who spends most of her time reading, writing, and providing education that will help you experience the transformation that you crave. Fije has run businesses on 3 continents as a business and mindset coach. She understands your fears, your struggles, your challenges, and she's here to help you identify opportunities and implement proven systems that will help you deliver financial rewards for you. She's going to be speaking on the topic Inside Track to Building on International Coaching Knowledge of Business. Ladies and gentlemen, TJ Adam.
Hi again, everyone. I want to say thank you for investing in yourself. And I say this because if we all invested in ourselves, the world would be a much better place. I say to my children all the time, you need to choose. Do you want greatness or you want average? If you want average, it's fine. Let's spend more time on Netflix. Let's entertain ourselves. But if you're looking for greatness, education is the way out. And I congratulate you for educating yourself today. I'm going to speak in 15 minutes on inside track. Insider's track to building an international coaching business or knowledge business. Whether you're an entrepreneur who is selling knowledge or you're an author, whatever it is. If you're selling online, you're selling knowledge, this session is for you. And we're going to take 15 minutes max. Welcome to the webinar, guys. My name is Fije Adam, and I'm your host for this webinar. I'm going to give you a quick story. Who has been to Venice? No, not Venice, Florence. Florence in Italy. If you've been to Florence, I bet you there's a place you have visited, because everyone who goes there, when you ask for a tour guide or a tourist list, they definitely put on that list the Galleria Academia. Whether you're interested in art or not, it is one of the topmost things they give you there. And I'm glad that is, because there's something I saw, I've seen at the Galleria Academia that blows my mind, and I want to share it with you in the next minute. So this gallery was built to host a particular artwork. It hosts thousands of them, but there's one particular one. It was Michelangelo's artwork. The man he chiseled, it's called David, right? The literally naked person. No pun intended, but I'm going to show you that image. So this is David. This is one of the highest, most widely regarded artwork in the world. And of course, you can see that there's reason for that, because his art has been so precise. When you get to the Galleria Academia, and beside this particular David artwork, you see a plaque that explains something. It tells you the history of how Michelangelo went from wherever he went, to creating this artwork. And I'll tell it to you in a few seconds. It was said that a lump of stone was given to artists, because in those days when artists are working, they work in groups, right? There is a lot of them just doing their things together, and everybody rejected it. It was so massive, it was like shapeless, and what on earth is that? Nobody wanted it, but Michelangelo wanted it. He said he wants to see this and he wants to turn it into a work of art. And so when he was done, many years later, they asked him, how did you create such a fine piece of art? He said the art has always been there. The art was always in that lump. All I needed to do was to remove the excesses, the extras, the parts I don't want. And so I don't think I have the image here, but there's an image of an artist chiseling. Yeah, this is the image I want to show you about. So he took that lump of stone, and what did he do? He began to chisel out, he began to remove the parts he does not want. And at the end of it, What he wanted, what was preserved after removing the excesses, is the artwork that is one of the greatest art in human history. What's the point I'm making to you? The point I want to make today is that no matter where your business is right now, maybe you have not started, maybe you always wanted to write, maybe you know something that you believe people will want to pay for, right? I'll give you an example. When a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I was a financial advisor in London, so I was thinking, what do I do right now? What do I do next? And it occurred to me, why don't you do the same thing you were doing before over here? So I said, okay, let me go get my exams written. Of course, there are certifications from here to there I had to write. And when I started writing the certifications, as I paid for the exam, I was given Pearson Academy. They're the ones I registered with. They gave me one textbook, which I was using to read. Just one textbook. And I was trying to stick to that, go through it. But do you know how many books I bought from the internet on how to pass the series 1? How to pass. I bought this from other people other students who had been through the course and passed it. Let me tell you what, the textbook that Pearson gave me was very affordable. I don't think it was up to $15. Okay? And it had the whole syllabus. And was put together by a professor that went to school for that purpose. These other materials I was buying for $45, $35, $80 on the internet was written by some people who didn't go past high school. A lot of them, if I'm to meet with them, I'll probably be their teacher 2 times over. But what was I buying? Why did I go out to spend money on them? Because they had been through that process. They had walked the path I was walking. So even though the professor wrote the academic part, I wanted to have real life examples. And I'm saying this to people who do not understand when we say the knowledge business. People who don't understand that knowledgepreneurship is now a big deal. You can sell. I know people who have become millionaires in dollars from selling a material on how I relocated to Canada. When people go to buy the book, they do not ask, oh, does he have a PhD? Does he have lecturing experience? They do not ask, oh, how much, what, if you have a first class? Nobody's interested. You know what people are interested in? People are interested in this journey. Did you take this journey? Did you go through this journey? Were you successful in this journey? That is what knowledge entrepreneurship is. What do you know? What can you show that you can teach and people can buy? And I promise you, if you do not know yet, this is a knowledge economy. Knowledge is taking over. There are a lot of millionaires today in the United States of America alone that even up to 50% of them they don't have any brick and mortar business. Okay, so the world is changing. The world is changing. Where's my slide? Just a second. Oh, thank you. Whoever is making that miracle behind the scene, I thank you. I'm just going to go up a little more. So guys, no matter where your business is right now, if you've not started, if you just listen to my 2-minute pitch about knowledge entrepreneurship and you're thinking, yeah, I definitely know something I can share, I definitely know something I can teach, or you're succeeding, or you're just spending money, or you're just investing on yourself, you're trying to be a coach and you're looking like a wannabe, like me too, I'm a coach, everybody is now a coach, and you have nothing to show for it yet, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you what matters, whether it's almost dying, is successful. What matters today is, in these few minutes we have together, we are going to chisel away. You see, like that artist, we're going to do our best to knock out all the excesses, all the things that are not important. And then when you are left with what matters, when you have clarity on exactly what you want to do, we will now give you a simple system. I'm teaching the 3rd step now. A simple system that can take you from where you are to where you should be. Make you a profitable knowledge entrepreneur. Being a knowledge entrepreneur is not supposed to be suffer head work where you're just posting on social media, trying to encourage people. No, it's not. There's an art to it. And that's why I made sure I brought people that have the receipts to show, right? We met Christine. Christine is a multi-time New York bestselling author. So from writing books alone, multiple times, she's been recognized around the world. Of course, Simi, you just heard Simi. I don't have anything to say about that. You can see the practicality. You can see how she's carrying out this vision. So practically, you cannot deny the results she has. So no matter where you stand, let's do a little bit of chiseling, okay? Now, let me tell you a little bit of my journey. How did I get here? Why am I doing this? So a few years ago, I'm from Nigeria. And if you know Nigeria, if you understand Nigeria, you would know that there's no hope that the government will solve all our problems. You will know that there's no hope that everybody that graduates is going to be employed the way they should be employed, because some people are employed but they're underemployed. You would know also that the solution is not necessarily in the hands of the big businesses. I mean, if you go to SEC today, ask them to show you how many people all the big companies we call big, UB, the Lumelus, how many people are they employing? They're not employing up to 25% of the population. The government is not employing up to 10%. So what happens to the rest of the population? So very early in life, I realized that to thrive in Nigeria, you must be enterprising. Excuse me. You must learn to create something. You must learn to create value, right? And you must learn to sell that value for money. So I started studying a lot in entrepreneurship. I started not for profits, which is still busy today, active today. It's Craft Foundation for Enterprise Development. So I've done a lot of this. But then I moved to the United States for a few years ago. I just realized that I still had this passion. I still wanted to continue doing this in Africa. So what do I do? And then when I was thinking of it, COVID hit and everything had to go online. So I had to do a couple of things. I will not have time to share with you the businesses I ran online for that purpose. But I'm just telling you that I have been at this for a while. And I can tell you without regrets that definitely the knowledge business, right, is the way to go. The future is knowledge based. Okay. And I remember when I started, I struggled for a while. I did good job, people were hailing me, but there's still some things I was not reaching certain milestones. I was like, I need to establish more things. So I decided, okay, rather than keep thinking and wondering in my own closet, what do I do? How do I do this? Why don't I see how others do it? And so I stepped out. My husband and I took a vacation, and I met a couple of people, and I met Tracy's agent, and he said, oh, Brian is writing a book. Do you want to do this? I'm like, why not? Let's do it. And I was really preparing. I was like, hey, I need to write a book with Brian. This is going to be stressful because I've tried writing before and I know how frustrating it was. So I prepared for this stress. I spoke to people. Will you edit for me? I was just looking all manner of help because I was expecting it to be a very difficult procedure. But then when I met with them, when they took us through the process, they gave us the formulas, I was like, excuse me, is this all it's going to take to write this book? A few months down the line, guys, the book came out. It was a best-selling book, of course. This brand is it has to be best-selling, right? Because he had such ground. But the truth was, the way they took it to the bestseller list, it was so easy. The way they put the book together, it was so easy. And then I was just providing content, things I didn't even know I knew. So it was such a mind-blowing process. I was like, I need to learn more about this. I need to know more about this because I had seen Brian's work. Okay, and in the next slide, you see what I'll say about Brian's work. So now I was thinking, what do I do? I decided, okay, let me go for an executive entrepreneurs retreat. That is where I met Christine and a ton of other entrepreneurs. I just wanted to see what are people doing because I wanted to open up my mind. I wanted clarity. I decided, okay, why don't I see how other people are doing? Maybe, just maybe, that's what I need to change my life. And so I stepped out and I met these fantastic people. We spent maybe 10 days or so in Costa Rica together. And I saw what people were doing. I saw normal people doing extraordinary things. I saw people that didn't even know a lot of the things I knew because I was waiting. It's like I was waiting for something to happen, right? Before I could be my best or bring out my best. But seeing these people, meeting other people, just stepping out of my comfort zone, stepping out of my area, right? It blew my mind. And also at that time, mother of 3, sometimes as a woman, and that's why I did this to other women. Your life is so busy. You're so busy with reality. You don't even have time to think of the future. It's like, oh, you're thinking of tomorrow. When my today is literally, I'm sinking in today, right? So this opportunity gave me time to be alone, gave me time to just breathe. It was like, since I started having children, I've not stopped to breathe. There was children here, children. My life was about other people. And so I always say to people, the best gift you can give yourself is a gift of time. Just give yourself your own time. Schedule your me time, okay? So that you can do you at that time. So this is not the only trip I've taken. This is not the best place I've visited, but this trip really changed my life. Because most other trips, I either went with my spouse, I went with the children, let's leave it at that. Don't tell my spouse I said that. But now I took that solo trip was my best. And so after that, I went back. I said, okay, now I know what I want to accomplish. But before I accomplish it, why don't I go and learn at the feet of the matter? So I went back and I met Brian. That's Brian and I learned from him. I attended seminars. They were putting together a program where you could go to Brian's house, go to his studio, understudy him, see how he went. I paid for it. Then I was paying I'm telling you, not small 5 figures I was paying in dollars while earning in naira. But I knew it was a foundation I needed to lay if I was going to, because I didn't want to struggle. I don't like struggling this year. I'm not a jabber, but I hate to struggle. So I invested this time. I learned. I really watched, like I practically sat down, like, how are you doing this thing? How are you doing that? And if you're wondering why I decided to learn under Brian, If you don't know him, Google him. But let me tell you about Brian. Brian has consulted more than 1,000 companies. He has addressed more than 5 million people in 5,000 talks and seminars throughout the US, Canada, and 70 other countries worldwide. That's what I'm telling you. If you're thinking, I want to be a knowledge entrepreneur, I want to be a coach, and you think it's just to be posting on social media, that's not it. This guy is a coach. He's a time management coach. He's a sales coach. But see what he was able to accomplish. As a keynote speaker and seminar leader, he addresses more than 250,000 people each year. He studied, researched, wrote, and he has spoken for 30 years in the fields of economics, history, business, philosophy, psychology. Google, of course, the internet records show that he's a top-selling author of over 70 books that have been translated into dozens of languages. I can go on and on. His programs, audio, videos, they are everywhere. What am I boasting about, Brian? I'm telling you so that you already heard me talk about Fela Durotoye. If you want to start a business, guys, of course, there's a coaching aspect, there's encouraging people. But what about the business behind the business? How are they doing it? Why is he writing books like water? Why are these results so tangible for him? That is what I wanted to study, and that is what I understudied. That's why I had to go after, I need to know what this guy knows. Because I believe that what you know is what you show, right? So if I'm not showing it, there's a problem. So I'm going to give you two key things that I think are really important. Two things that has to happen for every knowledge entrepreneur if you're going to build the business of your dreams. Okay? The first is this: if you're going to go global, if you intend to go international, if you want to serve more than your local community, you need to open up your heart. Yeah, like I'm taking off from where Simi started. You need to open up your heart first. You need to open up your mind. You need to be able to see more. I told you I took that solo trip and it changed my life forever. It changed the way I saw things. I saw results, people having results and when I compare, I was like, why can't this person have that result and I can't? I saw no reason. Okay, I saw no reason at all. So let's open up your heart, open up your mind, and then do what? Open up your network. I'm going to explain this in step 2. You need to understand that once those things are open, because I'm so focused on this. I love to teach on mindset. That's why I tell I'm a mindset coach, and I really am. But I don't have time to spend on this. Guys, but you need to open up. You need your heart to be open, to receive, right? You need your mind to be open. You need to think more. You need to open up the heart of yours. All this clothes, this is the way they do it. This is how we do it in my place. It's not going to work. And then open up your network. Opening up your network can involve a ton of things. There are so many things about opening up your network. And secondly, you must realize that the tools that worked yesterday, they may not work today. So what? Be open to learning. Be open to listening. Okay? You're going to see opportunities. You're going to see from some of the things I've learned were not even from brand. It's from people that were there to learn also. People that from the most unexpected places. Okay, that's an image of me and Brian at lunch. The guy sitting behind Brian, that's Phil Town. After this event in San Diego, we went from San Diego to Phil Town's ranch. The other picture is a copy of me and Phil Town. He was teaching us about investing. But the point is, the tools that worked yesterday may not be working today. So that's why I say you need to be open. Heart, mind, network. You need to be open to receive. And I'm encouraging you to be open because I'm going to share something with you in the next 2 minutes, a service that we're going to provide that can change everything for you if you're a knowledge entrepreneur. So open up your heart, guys. Open up your mind. Things are changing. Don't be stuck in the past. Do not be stuck in the past. And guys, this is the greatest of the lessons I learned. I learned that my struggle was because I didn't have a system. I didn't have a structure, which a lot of which Simi has spoken about. My struggle was I had a superwoman's freedom. Let me give you an example. A lot of the time when children are growing up in Nigeria, we feed them pap, some people feed Cerelac, milk, different things. So pap takes maybe 1 hour. I don't know how long it takes to make. So you can either choose to make it in that 1 hour, or you can choose to look for a hygienic place to buy it from. Okay, so people that have superwoman syndrome are those that feel like, no, I can't eat any other pap except when I made myself. A lot of them are not even as hygienic as the person we buy from sometimes. We just feel like there's this joy in working so hard, struggling, doing everything. Okay? The third thing I learned, guys, why you struggle is because you simply don't know. You don't know any better. If you knew better, wouldn't you make it? Wouldn't you do better, right? So If you're struggling in your coaching practice, if you're struggling in your knowledge business, I assure you there are a couple of things involved. Either you have no system, or you have Superman syndrome, you think you have to do everything yourself, or you simply do not know. But then how will you know? How do you get to know? Number one, you're already at this event, right? You're already learning. You're already open to learning, which is fantastic. I have a simple solution for you today. And that's all I'm doing today. I don't spend our time. I don't want to have this is not a sales speech. I'm just telling you what the solution is. Solution is set up systems. Okay? Set systems up that can take you from your point A, from that goal, to that point done that Simi spoke about. Okay? And here's my favorite advice to you. Begin to hang around people who show you how they got some money, how they got money. Begin to hang around people who show you how their own coaching practice took off. Instead of showing you that, oh, I've got money, they are showing you their Louis Vuitton bags, their Louis Vuitton shoes, they are showing you, oh, I'm this cool. But they're not showing you how they had that formula. That's a bad friend. Stay away from them. Don't even pay the person for his service. If he just shows you, if they're not ready to take you behind the scene, show you the insider secrets, because everybody has secrets of their trade. Okay? So if you do gain access, please, whether they are friends, coaches, do not hang around those that show you, oh, I've got money, I'm a big boy. No. There's no time to chill with the big boys. What you need to do is hang with those that show you how they did it. Oh, yeah, I did it. And this is when I came to the US, a lot of people that we had decades before me, when they saw something, they're like, how did you know that? I'm like, oh, you don't know it? Come, let me show you. Come, let me teach you. As a result, I had to open a business that has to do something like that, because I'm just this open person. I love to share. I love to share my knowledge. I love to study. And if you come close, I'll tell you. On this note, I'm going to bring my talk to a close, because there's one more session that is fantastic. And if you're looking to scale, you're looking to grow, you must not miss it. I want to use the opportunity to introduce the 30-day launch program. I know a lot of us have goals, especially those who are already coaches, especially those who are already teaching, especially those who are already in this field, or those who are looking to go to it. Some people have the dream of writing. For example, they don't even care about the profits. They just want to know that I published something, I wrote my story. And that is, there's no greater joy, no greater fulfillment than setting a target right and then accomplishing it. Especially something as awesome as writing a book, because it's quite a chore. But they don't know how to, they don't even know how to go about it. They're thinking, where do I start? Some people actually start, but before they've thrown it away. Some people start and they put out something that's not very qualitative, and then when they launch, it flops. That is why we are setting up the 30-day launch program. Let me just give you a summary of the program. Our goal is to help you if you're looking to get into the knowledge business, or you are in, but you're not out there enough. How many of you have seen all those shows on Facebook, Instagram? You're just watching your own thing. Before you know it finishes, they bring another one, and somebody's telling you something, selling something to you. Those things are super effective. No matter whether you hate it, you love it or not, it's working. That's why I said there are systems that are working. You cannot stay in the old and not want the new. And then they share some powerful truths with you, and you're like, well, if this person can share this for free, imagine what they know if I pay them. Okay, those are systems that are working right now. They could actually know things, have good services, but they don't know how to sell them. The goal of the 30-day launch program is to take you from where you've envisioned it, you've got clarity, you've said this is what I want to do, and then to take you to the point of being done in 30 days. And that's literal. It could be less, it could be more, depending on the project. But what we do is we are helping knowledge entrepreneurs. We are helping coaches, authors realize their dream of either putting out that course, putting out a webinar that could sell your program. We are helping you put out a book, whatever it is. Research, quality research done for you. If you heard my introduction, one of the things I love to do is study. I love to know everything I can about the topic I'm interested in. So we have a plethora of this research done on mindset, on entrepreneurship, on money, on finance, on health, a ton of them. And what we do is we work with authors, we work with entrepreneurs, we work with coaches to insert their stories into it, right? To build in your story, build in your experiences, build in your lessons. Why? So that when you bring out whatever material, whatever you're launching, whether it's a course, whether it's an ebook, whether it's a published book, whatever it is you're launching, when you bring it out, it's complete not only from the point of knowledge, it's also complete from having imbibed your story. Because there's nothing you can teach better what you've experienced. So we sit down with the coaches, we sit down with the authors, we sit down with the prospect, and then we see them, what are your goals? We find out your goals, we do the research for you, we add your story, we solidify this, and then we bring it out to the world, and we help you get launched in record time. How does that sound? No more guesswork, no more blank pages, no more endless nights. You still do some work, But then at least now you're doing it. There's a system, there's a structure. You're no longer feeling like Superman has to do everything yourself. Oh my God, this coaching business is so hard. Now you have a strategy, you have a system, because you are working with people who have been there, done that, and can help you bring your goal to fruition. How does that sound, guys? Drop a yes if it sounds interesting. If this will help you at all, if you think if I step out, then I think this will make sense. Now, I'm going to leave you with one last advice. My advice to you guys is run well. I'll tell you why. If you run well, listen to this. If you listen to nothing else, listen to this one. If you run well, people will come to you and offer you Nike shoes. They will offer you deals. They will give you things you've not imagined. For example, how many deals do you think Michael Jordan was being offered when he was playing basketball? He wasn't there looking like, hey guys, are you looking for deals to offer? No. All he did was he played his basketball well. So if you run well, Nike will bring their shoes to you. But then if you go around asking for Nike, knocking on doors, Nike, I'm looking for a deal. These guys, I'm looking for a deal. Nobody's giving you any deal. Why? You know why? Because you're focused, you're not doing what you should do. So if you're a coach, if you're an author, you've not written, you've not published, no one knows what you're doing, you have no content out there, you're not even running. Where do you want to get customers from? Where do you want to begin to change the world from? Where do you want to get your fulfillment from? That's where we come in. We help you run well. We put together the system that will make your dream a reality in the shortest possible time. And you're producing quality content you will be absolutely proud of. How does that sound? Again, my last advice to you, if you run well, people will come to you and offer you Nike shoes. But if you go around looking for Nike shoes and like, I want to become an author, let me go and do this training, let me go and do this coaching program, but you're not doing what it is authors do. You're not doing what authors write, right? Coaches coach, teachers teach, people who sell courses produce content, but you're not doing those things. You're not doing the business in which you're supposed to be in. How on earth are you going to scale? How are you going to even succeed before you start thinking of scaling? There's a link in our bio. There's a link in that has been dropped there. It's called the 30-day launch program. Click it. You're not paying for anything. You need to sit down. The first step with me personally, because I want to test run this, because it's a new thing we are launching, right? We need to understand your goals, your vision. Where are you now? Where are you looking to go? What can we do? How do we work together to make this a reality? And then we'll structure something that will put you two on the map. How does that sound, people? My job here is done. And in the next 20 minutes, we have someone else that's going to come and show you just one more step. We said the 4-step process, right? That's going to help you explode your business in 2022. Again, congratulations for investing in yourself. Stick around, hold on. Let's get to the promised land, okay? I'm now going to pass the baton over to Becca, but please go to the link that has been placed in the comment section, book a session, and let's make your dream a reality. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, PJ. That was an amazing one from you. Thank you so much. I learned quite a lot. I picked out the fact that you have to always remember to open your heart to learn new things, be open to listening, and open your mind, to expand your network, because things are changing and it would be a very sad story if anyone is left in the past. So without further ado, I would like to bring up our final speaker. His name is Oluwe Aboyowa. He's fondly called AB, and he has over five years of experience writing for companies in different countries and 12 industries, generating over $10 million in revenue. AB is a full stack conversion copywriter, specially skilled in writing ad copies, landing pages, emails, and web pages. AB helps companies make the most of their marketing dollars and getting the most value. Some of the companies he has worked with includes Google, Facebook, Telconstructions, Amazon, Shopify, and QuickBooks. And he'll be speaking to us about getting the most returns on your advertising dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, Oluwe Abuyowa.
Hi guys. It's nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Happy International Women's Day. I hope you guys can hear me, right? I'm trusting you guys can hear me. Oh, fantastic. All right. So, for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you how to turn $1 into $3 in revenue, right? Helping you make the most of what you spend on advertising online. Okay. Um, so one of the problems that most businesses have is finding customers, right? Finding people and converting those prospects to clients. It's a major challenge for most businesses, right? From Fortune 1000 companies to the small companies. It's a problem everywhere, right? How to attract customers, convert them, and then make money. But the thing is, the problem is not finding people, right? Because there are people everywhere. Okay. If you want traffic, all you simply need to do is go to the traffic supermarket, go to Google. Google has over 40,000 search per second. Okay. Facebook has over 2.8 billion active users per day. LinkedIn has over 700 million users per day. Instagram has over 1 billion users per day. So finding people is not the problem. Okay. The problem is converting those people into paying customers. Okay. Um, such that you become profitable. All right. Now, but there are three things that are working against you here. Three things. Number one is money. Number two is choices. Number three is time. So let me break that down. So for money, the average cost of advertising online today is about $1.50 for cost per click. Okay, that's the average. All right. Meaning that if you are looking at converting about 1,000 people or getting 1,000 clicks, you're already looking at say $1,500. Okay, that's a lot of money for small businesses. Um, so how do you solve that problem? Okay, number two is the people you are targeting, right? They are sport for choice. There are a lot of businesses offering the same service that you're offering. Okay, so people are sport for choice. You want to buy a phone, you have Apple, you have Samsung, you have Sony. Choices. You want to go to school, choices. Whatever it is you want to do, people have so many choices, right? And then lastly, time. The average person online, the attention span is about 7 seconds. 7 seconds, yes. So it means that you have 5 seconds to convert a total stranger into someone that wants to buy from you. Okay, so the aim of this conversation, right, is to show you how to turn strangers into paying customers. Okay, so let's get down to it. So let's say you want to get traffic from, you want to buy traffic from Facebook or from Google, right? By that I'm saying that you want to run we want to run an ad on Facebook or on Google. Okay, so what's the first thing that you need to do because of the amount of people that are going through that section, right? Because of the amount of time people are spending on those platforms. So, what's the first thing you need to do to get their attention? One, you need to make a compelling offer. Okay. I call it the Godfather offer. I'm a fan of the Godfather movie, so forgive me for that. So right, you have to make the Godfather offer, right? And the Godfather offer is simply an offer that people cannot resist. Okay, I mean, for people to resist that offer, they have got to be crazy. All right, does that make sense? Now, to make that a compelling offer, you need to have three things in place, right? Three things you've properly thought about. Okay, first one is identifying your buyer, right? Um, who is that one person that's most likely to buy from you? All right, how would you describe the person? Okay, um, you need to create a buyer persona. There are tools online that can help you do that. Um, Payoneer has, HubSpot has one. And other companies, they have all of that that can help you do all of that. Okay, number two is you need to now ask yourself, what stage of the journey is your buyers in? Okay, what stage of the journey is your buyers in, right? That's important for you because the buying stage determines what to say or what not to say. The buying stage also determines where to lead these people to. Okay. And then number three, you need to ask yourself, what language are my customers speaking? This is very important because a lot of the times, right, what most people do is that they communicate to people in their own language, right, instead of the language of the customer. So for that reason, your message is just going, over their heads. It's not making sense to them. Okay, so now that we've done that, right, you've done the compelling offer, you've run the ad, right? People, they've clicked on it. Okay, what next? Now this is where a lot of companies make a huge mistake. So instead of sending those clicks to a dedicated page, right, they send those clicks to their website. Okay, a lot of us are guilty of that. A lot of businesses are guilty of that also. In fact, if you go online right now and check for one of the companies that you follow, if you look at their ad, there's every possibility that they're using their website for their ad. Okay, and this is suicidal for many reasons. Okay, um, it's completely unforgivable, and one of the reasons for that is because your website is not designed to turn strangers into paying customers. Okay, all right. Okay, let me use this an analogy, right? Sending clicks to your website, right, is like walking up to a stranger and telling them, "Let me sleep in your house tonight." I mean, if someone walks up to you and say, "Hey," you don't know them before, you've never met them before, and they come and they say, "Okay, you know what? Let's pass the night at your place." I mean, I'm sure you will not agree to that, right? So it's the same thing that happens when you do that. When you send your clicks straight to your website, you're committing the unpardonable sin. It's as serious as that. Okay, so why is that suicide? All right, number one, is because of the kind of traffic, all right, that you are sending. Okay, so remember that we said that in creating a compelling offer, you need to ask yourself, what stage of the buyer journey is your customer? Okay, now there's every possibility, right, that the person who clicks your ad, either Facebook or Google or Instagram, there's a possibility that the person is in what we call the solution aware group. Okay, so let me break that down for you. So for buyer's journey, right, there's three stages of buyer journey. Okay, the first stage is what they call the problem aware stage, right? This means that people know that they have a problem, okay, but they are not actively looking for a solution. Okay. Number two is the solution aware stage. Okay. This means that they know they have a problem and they are actively looking for a solution. Okay. And then number three is the decision making stage, which simply means they've seen a solution they like and they want to go with that solution. Okay. So there's every possibility that the person clicking on your ad most likely is in the second stage, right? Is in the consideration stage. They're actively looking for solution, right, to their problem. Okay. Now, when you send that kind of traffic, okay, to your website, you've lost them because they're not ready to make a commitment yet. What they're looking for is, okay, do you have the solution I need? Do you have the answers I'm looking for, right? And if you can provide that answer, you've moved them closer to making that decision. Okay. Number two reasons why it's a problem is because, so let's use this analogy, right? Imagine uh you see a big billboard, right? Your favorite restaurant, okay? You see a billboard that says 50% off burgers, okay, or 40% off, or aha, it's Women's Day, fantastic. So you see these shoes that you've always wanted the shoes, right? And then you saw an ad that says 50% off, right? You clicked on the ad, and the next thing you're seeing is chairs and tables and kitchenwares. You're going to be very angry and then leave. Why? Because what you the reason you went there was because you saw 50% off. Am I right? Same thing happens, okay? The message that you have on your Google ads, your Facebook ads, or whatever ads you're running, it it needs to align with where you send the traffic to. And in most cases, your website or wherever else you send them to is not properly aligned with that message. Okay. Number three reason why it's a sin is because of what we call the attention ratio, right? The attention ratio simply means how many activities do they need, should the website visitor complete when they come on your page, right? How many activities do they have to complete? Okay. Now that's a it's a problem for you when you use your web, especially if you're using your website, like most companies, because your website has many. Think of your website like a roundabout. Okay, a roundabout has different exits. All right, different exits. So people can see your ad. They loved what they saw on the ad. They came to your website, and then they get lost because they see different shiny objects, your different navigations, right? And the $1 that you've spent paying for that traffic, you flushed it because they're gone. They did not perform the one action that you need them to perform. Okay. And then finally, when you run an ad without using your website, okay, Google punishes you by increasing your cost per click by over 400%. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, so you may gain top ranking, but you're going to spend 400% more that you should spend. Okay, Facebook would reduce your ranking, right? Reduce your visibility because, all right, there is no message match because of the high bounce rate, right? And all of these things they're not good for you. They're not appealing at all. You're just wasting resources that you you may have or you may not have, but in most cases actually you're actually wasting scarce resources. So what should you do instead? Instead, you should use a landing page for your ad campaigns. Okay. um so what's a landing page, right? A landing page is a dedicated standalone web page designed for one purpose only, and that singular purpose is conversion, turn strangers to leads. That's the single purpose of it. Okay, your landing page is a click converter, right? It's where the magic happens. That's um where strangers can become friends. All right, strangers can become paying customers. Okay, um so what's the difference, right, between your landing page, using a dedicated landing page, and your website? Right, the difference is one word. Okay, focus. All right, focus is that's the difference. Focus is the one word. All right. um your landing page is designed for one purpose only, is to turn strangers into leads or paying customers. That's the one purpose, right? While your website is not designed that way. Okay, so in simple English, while your website is a roundabout, okay, your landing page is a one-way street. Okay, there's only one direction, there's only one course of action. So why is using a landing page important? Okay, it's important because your buyers are one step away from buying. So like we said earlier, the three stages of awareness, your buyers are in the solution stage, waiting to make that cross to decision stage, right? And using the landing page shows them that they can trust you, brings you into consideration, right? I mean, come on, the person who clicks your ad obviously wants to buy, obviously, right? Wants to buy. That's why they clicked your ad. Okay, so it just turns on the buying switch. Okay, we're ready to buy. Just let's make it happen. Let's go. Okay. Number two is that you can close more sales without friction. Okay. Um, so one of the elements of a landing page actually is what we call a lead magnet, right? It's the product or solution that you give away for people to give you that contact or give you the opportunity to speak with them on a one-on-one basis. Okay, and your lead magnet shows them how trustworthy you are. You're an authority in your field. You know what you're doing. Okay, let's get it over with. For example, Coach Fiji did something just now. For example, she showed you how she worked with brand Tracy, how she can be, how she has built system for other brands, right? And then she went ahead to say, okay, there's a 30-day product launch. This webinar, right, can serve as a lead magnet because she wants you to make the final purchase, right, which is the 30-day product launch. I mean, does that make sense? Okay. Number three is that using a landing page reduces your advertising cost, okay, by half. So whereas Google, Facebook punishes you for not using a landing page, right, they reward you for message consistency. Okay, that's using a landing page, right? And they reduce your your cost by 80%. Yes, they reduce it by 80%. So with a landing page, you can rank higher, right, for a particular word, okay, and pay less than the person who came second. All right, amazing stuff. So you're paying less, but you're getting better ranking, better visibility, which is good for you because according to Google research, right, 50% of all Google traffic goes to 2% of advertisers. That's shocking. So it puts you in that space where you're not spending so much, but you're getting it done, right? You're getting people that you can convert from strangers into customers, right? Number four is that a landing page increases your visibility online. Like I said, Facebook rewards you with higher visibility, shows your ads to more people because of its relevance, right? Without charging you extra, right? And then number five, so because of the fact that most businesses have what they call feast or famine season. Okay, it means feast. It simply means that there's some times where you have so many clients where you just want to give out some, and then some other times when you don't have any single client at all. Okay, feast or famine. By using a landing page, you create a list of qualified leads, people who are interested in buying from you, who you can just keep aside for the rainy day. Ah, good. You're saving, you're saving customers for the rainy day. You're saving people that want to buy from you for the rainy day. Okay, and that's important for your business. So that's how you turn your $1, your $1 ad spend into $3 in revenue. So let's bring this home, right? Now, the most important part of your marketing campaign, um, especially if you want your landing page to convert, right? Like we said, is your copy. Okay, copy. The words that you write on your ad, on your landing page, on your website. These are crucial because it's the difference between making a sale or losing that money that you just spent. Okay, so in the past 5 years, I've helped a lot of businesses with the copy for their landing page. Okay, um, and I've come up with four, the four principles that I use. These four principles actually when I write a landing page, actually, and you can also adopt them. Okay, number one is begin with the goal in mind, right? And then write backwards. So what it means is, what's the purpose of your landing page? What do you want it to do? What do you want people to do when they come to your landing page? Okay, I usually advise, especially when talking to strangers, right? Don't ask them for money yet, especially if you're in a service business like we are in, right? Knowledgepreneur, coaches. Yes, don't ask for money yet, okay, because your product is not tangible. Okay, when you're asking for money, ensure to um solve or to quench any anxiety they might have. Okay, so for example, let's say you want to charge people $50 to attend a training section, right? You can tell them, hey, if you're not satisfied with your training, right, we'll refund your money back to you. Okay, but usually I don't advise. I advise you to um, first of all convert these strangers to friends. Okay, so what's your goal, right? You want them to register for a webinar, you want them to download a book, you want them to read something, whatever the goal is, right? Start from there, okay, and then work backwards. Okay, number two, every part of your copy has one job. All right, the entire essence of writing on your website, your landing page, especially your ad, is one job: converting strangers to friends. So because of that, be careful of the words that you put there. Okay, we don't want to know um how you got your funding. Your customers don't want to know any of that. What they want to hear is the solution to their problems. Okay, number three, a question I get asked a lot is long form copy or short form copy, which is best? And the answer is simple. It depends on the awareness stage. If the person is product aware, so problem aware and not solution aware, right? It's longer because you have to explain to them that you understand their problem. This is a better solution. It's a longer one. But if the person already knows your brand, okay, so and just hoping to make a decision, then the copy is shorter. All right, but simply because we're talking to strangers here, most likely the copy would be longer. Okay, and then lastly, stop trying to write. So one of the things that business owners do when they want to write either their website copy, landing page, whatever, is that they sit down, open a Microsoft, open a Word document, whether Microsoft, use Microsoft or Apple, and then they just type what's in their head and just fire away. And they have a lot of, blank pages, okay, but wondering what should I write. The reason for that, the reason why you have that challenge is because you're not letting your customers write, you're writing for them. Okay. Part of what I do as a copywriter is I do a lot of research using, and then I write copy using what I call voice of customer data. So I describe the pain using the words that customers will normally use. Okay. So do your research, go to Yelp. All right, go to Yelp, go to Google, go to Trust Advisor. These are platforms that customers, actually people, drop their reviews, right? And you get to see the words that they use, the concerns that they have. Okay, take those words, right, and put them in your copy, because those are the words that you are looking for. Okay, I'll close with this. Everything I've said leads down to four things. Number one, give them a compelling offer, an offer they cannot refuse. Number two, match the offer with the landing page experience. Okay. Number three, in writing your copy, ensure that you talk about the customer and not about your product. And number four, be ready to test everything that you write. Okay, test, and test. Okay, if you follow this path, right, if you follow these things I've just shared with you, in another 30 days, right, in 30 days you should have landed some of your clients. Okay, I hope you got value from this few minutes that I had. Thank you for having me, Miss VJ. Happy International Women's Day once again. Bye for now.
That was such an amazing session with Oluwe Aboyowa. Very, very insightful, and I trust we all learned a thing or two. So we've come to the end of this amazing Explode conference. And a big congratulations to everybody who waited to the end. You have just won yourself a free copy of Christine Carlson's book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much to everyone who stayed with us to the end. I'm pretty sure we all learned very insightful things that will be life changing to us. And again, happy International Women's Day to all the beautiful and amazing ladies in the house. Yes, keep breaking the limits. Yes, limit, because the bias is just one of the many limits that we have as women. But remember, there is no limit at all to what we women can achieve. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Bye.